Welcome back to our continuing coverage of the IBEW's 39th International Convention here in St. Louis. Well, today, delegates here on the convention floor voted for a modest increase in per capita dues and the pension benefit fund, both to be phased in over 5 years. The IBEW's leadership team says it's a necessary step to ensure the future of the Brotherhood.
We focus on organizing a high level of service to our members and continuing diligent effort to manage costs. I fully expect to maintain a strength and a financial standard in all of labor.
We voted on what I consider to be a very modest and reasonable increase in the per capita, $2 over the next 5 years. We're a large local, and we have more resources than most locals, but even a large local with a lot of resources needs a strong international. I mean, we're working with Berkshire Hathaway now, with owning one of our utilities, and there's just no way that we stand up to Berkshire Hathaway without strong support from the IO.
It's very important that we continue to keep our focus on organizing, and like I said, we truly haven't hired the number of people we originally were targeting. We're still going to look at that, and if there's a need, we'll hire as needed and where we need to do it, but we got to have the resources to do it.
When our leadership evaluates and asks for something, I think we have an obligation to listen to them, digest it, and support it, unless there's some reason that just pops out at you that says, I don't think it's a good idea. I didn't see that.
I think everything that Sam laid out, shows, it's not, we're looking to build the coffers. We're looking to maintain and have the resources that we need to move our Brotherhood forward.
If those men asked us for $2 a year for 5 years, we would have said yes, but they're only asking for $2 over 5 years. We trust that they will use that money responsibly, and we also trust that they will use it to make us a strong and powerful union. So for us, it was a no-brainer.
For more information on this story, you can check out the Convention Highlights newsletter. It's available each morning here on the convention floor. You can also get more information online at IBEW.org. Today marked the return of two very familiar faces to the IBEW, AFL-CIO Secretary-Treasurer Liz Shuler and IBEW President Emeritus Ed Hill. Both spoke about solidarity and the importance of the upcoming presidential election.
We can't let our interest in the socialists overshadow our abilities or anything that we're doing for the trade union movement, because once we weaken ourselves to a point that the trade union movement is irrelevant to anything that's going on, our power to change the social structure of the country is gone. Hillary Clinton has her faults, Bernie Sanders had his faults, but Trump's a nut.
This election is so critically important for union members because everything is at stake. We have the Supreme Court is at stake. We have appointments that the president's going to make that'll make and break labor law. It's so clear the difference between the two candidates, and so we really need to figure out who stands for the same values and who's supporting working families. Union members and their families really need to look at the issues, and we have candidates who talk a good game like Donald Trump, and then we have other candidates like Hillary Clinton who actually walk the walk. And if you look at the policies, if you look at the record, really get into where these candidates stand and who represents working families' values, it would be Hillary Clinton.
Our bargaining issues are different today, and we have some understanding employers who care about their employees' safety and economic security, but still our future survival is never going to be guaranteed. But like our founders, we cannot, and I know we will never give up.
By and large, the problems faced by the IBEW in the US and Canada are similar to the issues we face in Ireland. The strategies and actions we must develop in Ireland to meet these challenges are similar to those you have developed and continue to develop here in the US and Canada. Brothers and sisters, be sure of one thing: your concerns are our concerns. and your battles are our battles.
I would now like to take a moment to read a message we just received from our President, Barack Obama, addressed to everyone here. I send greetings to all attending the 39th International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers International Convention. The IBEW's efforts to ensure electrical workers get the rights and opportunities they need to thrive in a changing economy remind us of our obligation to support those who give their all to keep our country going. As you gather to pay tribute to how far we have come since the IBEW was founded 125 years ago, you have my best wishes. Signed, Barack Obama.
This is a fair trade for that 3rd District.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
They're negotiations that have been going on for decades.
Every convention, every local brings their newest pin, and everybody seems to go crazy for them.
This is a space shuttle.
And even a 9-year-old drives a hard bargain.
You trade the more valuable for the more valuable and the less valuable for the less valuable.
Who needs 3rd District? You're trying to identify who's got what, and we're going to find them. So what are you offering?
You know what I want for me?
We're negotiating, aren't we?
There's probably between these 3 different boards about 750.
Kim Kraft and Tom Alexander have traded pins at 5 consecutive conventions.
Tom and I have been working together for 25 years now at each convention, and we take them back and put them on display to share with our members so they can get an idea of how big an organization they're actually a part of, and you make a friend for the rest of your life.
You're meeting brothers and sisters from other locals and forming relationships and I guess bonds that you probably wouldn't have if it wasn't for the pins.
How'd you do against the 9-year-old girl?
She took me for a lot. I can't say no.
Time now for a look at the best of the IBEW. The James Webb Telescope will be the most powerful telescope in history. IBEW members at NASA in Maryland are putting it all together.
When things get close to launch, you see it launched, you realize, hey, I put 8 or 10 years into that and now it's going off into space to do science that's never been done before. I'm Neil Becker and I'm a mechanical integration engineer at Goddard Space Flight Center. It is pretty cool to think that this stuff that we work with goes off into space. James Webb Space Telescope, which I'm working on now, is going to be 1 million miles from here on orbit. It's going to be the largest telescope ever made. I work on the Integrated Science Instrument Module, ISIM. I've been working on that for about 8 years.
We've never built anything like this before, so this is all new. I never thought for 1 million years that I'd be doing this. To this day, I thank my lucky stars that I have a job where I can do this kind of work.
The IBEW 1501 is in this facility. We've got the members that keep our facilities looking clean, the maintenance crew. We've got scientists, we've got engineers, chemists, we've got integration people turning nuts and bolts, we've got designers, actually putting this stuff on paper.
My degree is in fashion design, and I was looking for a job in the Washington Post under fashion design, and there was something, have you ever thought about space? I am a thermal blanket technician here at Goddard Space Flight Center. A blanket is a multi-layered insulator, and it's just the layers of different films that help insulate the satellite, whether to keep it warm or keep it cold.
I'm Mark San Sebastian. I'm an instrument technician at the Goddard Space Flight Center. A lot of times I'm working with a large team. We're integrating pieces, components of a spacecraft into a larger structure, the full spacecraft. This is a part of the MIRI cooler for James Webb Telescope. MIRI is one of the instruments on James Webb. These are the supports that will carry the cryo lines, the cooling lines, throughout the spacecraft to the MIRI cooler and keep it cold.
When I look at a lot of the stuff, it awes me sometimes because this is something that's going to be going to space at some point in time. Here I do static, acoustic, and vibration testing. I just make sure that any satellite electronics box can survive the ride to space.
Pretty incredible for what a couple hundred people can do.
I love my job. I love it because of the creativity it allows me, and I'm working on stuff that goes in space.
You know, you see the shuttle go out to the pad, a couple blasts off, you see the guys doing their spacewalk, but you know, people don't understand, I think, what goes into getting to that point.
I was sitting at home and I was watching the last space shuttle take off.
0 and liftoff for the final launch of Endeavour.
And it really hit me then because I thought to myself, this is the last shuttle mission, and 5 months ago, I was touching the payload that was on the shuttle.
We innately want to explore. We've been doing it forever. You know, what is our origin? Where does humanity come from? Where does our universe come from? And that's, I think, is just the insatiable appetite of wanting to know more.